And now, from 12 Studios, this is News 12 Now.
Today is Tuesday, March 12th. Welcome to News 12 Now. I'm Kylee Dedmon. New on News 12 Now, 3 people were shot to death in a neighborhood near Dallas Love Field. The 3 victims were found in 2 separate locations, but police say they don't believe the deadly shootings were random attacks. Dallas police were called to a location which had been abandoned besides a car. The victim had been helped to a hospital where he died. The registration of the vehicle led the officers to a house which had 2 wounded men inside. Both men died on site. The Dallas Police Department have tied these shootings to criminal activity. The suspect is still at large. Now the investigation is ongoing and we will continue to update you as we learn more. The Supreme Court has extended a temporary freeze on enforcement of the Texas state immigration law. SB4 lets state police arrest and detain people they think have entered the U.S. illegally. The administration hold gives the court additional time to review the case and does not necessarily signal which way the justices are leaning. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed the law back in December, sparking concerns of increased racial profilings, detentions, and attempted deportations by state authorities. The Biden administration and others filed an emergency application with the Supreme Court on March 4th, asking the justices to block enforcement of the law. The Owasso, Oklahoma School Board held their first meeting on Monday since making national headlines last month. 16-year-old Nex Benedict, a non-binary high school student, died February 8th, the day after being assaulted by a group of girls in a school restroom. As Samson Timanjani reports, parents and protesters disrupted the meeting, demanding to know what the board planned to do about what they call is a bullying problem in the district.
Protesters angry at Owasso Public Schools' handling of the death of sophomore Nex Benedict disrupted its March school board meeting several times Monday night. Superintendent Dr. Margaret Coates reiterated the district's written philosophy of respect in her remarks to the board.
I'm proud that in times like this, our school community continues to come together to reflect, support one another, and ensure that every student feels a sense of safety, security, and belonging within our school walls.
But her words did not get much of the crowd's respect. Multiple people were booted for disruption.
Ultimately, the story needs to be told and somebody needs to be held accountable.
Former Owasso student Madison Hutton puts blame for Benedict's death on what she calls rampant bullying and bigotry at the high school, which she cited during public comments.
Let me be very clear. We will not allow this to continue. We will not allow Nex's memory to be tarnished by negligence and indifference. We must ask you, where does it end?
Valerie Lakey, another Owasso alum, says she understands the frustration many have, but has faith in district leaders.
I definitely feel like bullying isn't as big of an issue at Owasso High School up until this point.
Others speaking at the meeting did not see it that way.
Queer kids deserve safe and happy lives just as much as the straight ones do.
Next could have been my child because y'all didn't do your job. You didn't do your job.
So it has been kind of a cloudy and a chilly morning, at least so far, but we are starting to see those conditions clear up as we head in the afternoon. But we are still seeing abundant cloud cover, at least across a good deal of the region this morning, or afternoon now at this point. But clouds are trying to slowly clear out of here, which actually has gotten a few of us to the 70-degree mark. So it's already warm, pretty breezy out there as well. Yeah, those winds definitely gusty, anywhere from about 10 to close to 25 miles an hour. So maybe gusting up to about 35 at times. So warm and breezy today. We do have a couple more chances of severe weather on the way, beginning as early as tomorrow and into our Thursday especially. But there's some interesting updates to pass along on that. And then chilly air is also on the return. Back to you, Kylie.
All right, thank you, Brian. Well, Alaska Airlines reported its profitability was negatively impacted by at least $150 million due to the Boeing 737 MAX door panel blowout. The incident led to the grounding of the 737 MAX fleet back in January and early February. However, several other Boeing plane issues have occurred. The carrier has returned its fleet to service and says it still expects to have a profitable first quarter compared to the same period last year. Boeing CEO expressed confidence after the Alaska Airlines incident, but now the company says it can't find documents related to the door plug opening and closing. The chair of the National Transportation Safety Board has accused Boeing of being uncooperative with the Federal Aviation. Special counsel Robert Hur is at Capitol Hill today. The attorney is testifying in front of Congress about his investigation into President Biden's handling of classified documents. He's facing tough questions from both Republicans and Democrats for not pressing criminal charges against Biden, but characterizing him as an elderly man with a forgetful memory.
My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair. Most importantly, what I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe. I did not sanitize my explanation, nor did I disparage the president unfairly. I explained to the Attorney General my decision and the reasons for it. That's what I was required to do.
Hur has since resigned from the Justice Department after the closing of the investigation and is testifying as a private citizen. Lead singer of the band Raspberries, Eric Carmen, has died. Carmen's wife announced the singer's death on his official website Monday night. There was no cause of death given. After creating hits like I Wanna Be With You and Tonight with the Raspberries in the early 70s, Carmen went on to have a successful solo career with classics like All By Myself and Hungry Eyes. Eric Carmen was 74 years old. Well, online influencer Andrew Tate was detained in Romania and handed an arrest warrant issued by British authorities, his spokesperson said today. The Bucharest Court of Appeals handed the brothers an arrest warrant for allegations of sexual aggression in a UK case dating back to 2012 to 2015. 4 women had reported Tate to the UK authorities, but the Crown Prosecution Service decided not to prosecute him. Then, the alleged victims pursued a civil case against him. Tate is charged in a separate case in Romania with rape, human trafficking, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. Tate has repeatedly claimed that prosecutors in Romania have no evidence against him and that there is a political conspiracy to silence him. He was previously banned from various prominent social media platforms for expressing misogynistic views and for hate speech. More aid has been airdropped into the Gaza Strip today as Israel faces mounting pressure over the thousands of people facing starvation in Gaza. The United Nations says 1/4 of the population in Gaza is starving. The U.S. and other countries have launched airdrops recently. However, efforts are unlikely to meet the needs of the population as food is scarce and costly in the area. The U.S., Egypt, and Qatar attempted to work out a ceasefire and hostage release deal, but talks stalled as Hamas responded that any temporary pause taken must guarantee an end for the war. Well, get outdoors if you can today before all that yucky rain comes into our forecast. Well, that's all for this half hour of News 12 Now. Be sure to tune into News 12 at 5, 6, and 10 tonight for a complete wrap of what happened today in Texoma and beyond. Thanks for watching and have a terrific Tuesday.